So here on our channel, we can never get enough of good old Namco, and well, here's something even more Namco related. Welcome to the Namco Classics Collection Volume 1, featuring Galaga, Xevious, and Mappy.
Why did it look like a giant chocolate bar?
I was going to say, I don't know, and you're going to soon find out. This is the one out of the two collections, this is the one that did not quite get as much flash in its presentation, but I super love Galaga, and James told me that this sucker had a remix version of it with co-op, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. So there's me on the right.
So yeah, witness as Logan and I shoot the living shit out of bugs in the arrangement of Galaga.
Whee! Who here? No, Hype and Jordy, have you guys ever tried Galaga?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, actually. I may have maybe once or twice when I was younger, but I don't fully recall.
You've likely seen it in an arcade, though, because, like, honestly, it's one of those games, well, like, not so much this version of it, but, like, just Galaga in general is, like, one of those games you see almost everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of the, like, okay, I can't say it's the first shoot 'em up, but it was definitely one of the most, again, it was definitely one of the most, like, break the scene, make it all popular shoot 'em ups. This and Centipede, probably.
Makes sense.
Or Xevious or Gradius. Gradius was in arcades, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Ah, nuts.
Just, yeah, like, when it comes, like, compared to the original arcade classic, like, Xevious' arrangement is pretty nutso in terms of how the bugs react to you trying to shoot at them.
Galaga, you mean.
Galaga, sorry.
It's okay. But, oh, jeez, yeah. No way would they have reached speeds like that. Speeds like this on the original.
So one thing to note about Galaga arrangement real quick is that, your lives are actually shared. So, say if you end up biting the bullet, I mean, you can still technically continue, but you lose out on however many points you had at the time, and, well, basically...
That's why I'm suddenly down by almost half.
Right. And, the arrangement games always have a bit of a, what's the word? It always had a bit of a competitive edge to it, where, like, after you've cleared a level or whatnot, they'll tally up the score between the both of them, and, well, they'll tout out whoever's the winner. Like so.
Oh, let's see who won. Yay!
God dang it!
And thus you get a big old boost to your score, so I'm not even close yet still. But anyway, okay, maybe a different question then maybe to kind of spur on the discussion is, Hype and Jordy, do you guys still have any arcades by where you guys live, or like do you guys ever remember going to the arcade?
There is one at the mall that we have called, what was it called? Round 1. It's both a bowling alley and an arcade. I know they've got, classic games
that
like...
Would not kill me.
I don't know. Anyway, it's got classic games such as this one, Pac-Man, and they've got, like, newer games like, a full version, like, I wouldn't say a full version, but a bigger version of Sonic Dash.
Really?
They've got,
Wait, they made Sonic Dash into an arcade game?
Yeah, they did. I played it a couple times, actually. It's pretty good.
What a timely event we live in a game like that can be touted out as a full-blown arcade game.
They've also got a section for all the Japanese games, too, like Tekken, Soul Calibur, so on and so forth.
That does make me think back to that one time when Logan and I went to Dave & Buster's, and, like, they had, like, some very extravagant arcade releases there. Like there was the Luigi's Mansion arcade, the Pac-Man Battle Royale thing that literally couldn't work for Logan because his buttons were jammed.
Right. That was a little tricky.
I think they also had the latest Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games at that time there, too.
Oh yeah, they had that at my arcade as well.
Interesting.
I tried that out, too, and that was pretty good.
And yeah, if it's not immediately obvious from the footage, this is pretty much the point where I start to choke.
Oh dear.
Because yeah, like again, this is pretty much Galaga on straight up speed, and dang it, my ship has been stolen.
Uh-oh.
Now the cool thing about that's always been a thing since the original Galaga, I want to say, is that say if you do get your ship stolen, you can actually on your next life you can actually shoot down the bug that took over your ship, and you can get it back for a power up.
Oh, nice.
So now he has a rapid fire. Well, he had rapid fire.
Still, that was pretty cool. Challenging stage.
Oh, you're fine.
Round 2, motherfucker.
It's going. Well, I mean, we got a pretty good system going on here. I don't know of how far I've ever gone in Galaga. I know I have like once or twice beaten the original Donkey Kong in an arcade once, but they just don't make like big arcades like this anymore, unless you go to like say Dave and Buster's or something.
Yeah, like I mean, honestly, I'm still surprised there's still like arcade games to like new arcade games to some extent nowadays. Like remember back when the Rampage movie was a thing?
Yeah.
Like they made an arcade adaptation of that. And I'm like, what?
It just kind of popped out of no. Wait, they made an arcade about the movie?
Yeah, they made an arcade adaptation of the movie.
Huh. Interesting.
So the next game on the Volume 1 collection is Xevious, and I'll admit, compared to Galaga, this is like the small potatoes shooter. Like, it's one that not a lot of people know about, and I can't think of any people that actually really like this game. I don't think it's a bad one per se, but it's like, it's a typical game of, well, shoot whatever enemies on screen, but with an added twist that there's also enemies on the ground, in which case you have to shoot out bombs to destroy them.
For you to know what that looks like, if you look on the right, you'll see me foolishly using only bombs at first because I forgot that you could shoot, and James was also using his blasters to shoot at things above you. The reticle that's hovering in front of us, the reticle that's in front of us shows us where, okay, I think this is when I finally learned about my blaster, sooner or later. Anyway, the reticle in front of you shows where your bomb is going to land, depending on, when you first push the button. Whee! There it goes.
And I will say this much, as far as Xevious is concerned, it's not a bad game, though if you want a game that does this kind of style of play, but has a lot more charm to it, play Twinbee.
Oh yeah, that was also Sega, wasn't it?
No, Sega, no.
Oh, sorry, that was...
It wasn't them, it wasn't Namco either, it was, Konami that made it.
Oh, right. Oh, that's right, because they had Twinbee Bomber, that's right.
Wait, did they make a Twinbee Bomber?
I could have sworn they made a Twinbee Bomber and Bomber.
I know they made a Vic Viper Bomber, which looks really fucking unorthodox, but I don't remember Twinbee Bomber, and honestly, I think that's a missed opportunity. But I just think that series has a little more charm than say Xevious. But I mean, again, Xevious in itself isn't bad, and honestly, if you want an interesting little fun fact, the NES version of Xevious was an unlockable bonus in Star Fox Assault of all games.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah, because that game was handled by Namco, and I guess with their blessing, they allowed that game to be unlockable if you get all silver medals in a silver campaign of Star Fox Assault, which is essentially normal mode.
Right. Okay. Whoa.
Overall, not bad, but honestly, probably, I would say out of all the arrangement-style games, this is probably the weakest of the bunch.
It definitely felt like
the music's kind of cool.
It's a cool chill factor to it, but definitely, I'm gonna.
Also, and speaking of Star Fox, suddenly Andross's breath attack suddenly comes in for a cameo.
Jeez.
Oh dear.
But yeah, if I could say get the cannon. Yeah, but if I had to say if I had the choice between this or Galaga arrangement, I would probably pick Galaga. Galaga arrangement seems like it has more excitement.
Oh yeah, no, it's just flashier and more in your face, and I'm just gonna toss that to the side to what I consider probably the big highlight of the game, the collection, the arrangement for Mappy.
Mappy.
So Mappy is a typical cat and mouse sort of game.
You weren't kidding.
I'm on the top screen, he's on the bottom.
Yeah. What you see right here is that for the arrangement, it's mostly the co-op experience is like it's very vertical split screen-esque, which is kind of unorthodox, to be perfectly honest. Right.
So we are technically both on the exact same map. My camera is just kind of in an odd angle.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's weird. For this game, they put the first player on the bottom screen and the second player on the top screen. Huh?
It's something.
One thing I will say I find kind of funny is that for the second player's version of Mappy, they just outright bring out the cool Mappy as opposed to just the typical cute and blue Mappy on the bottom.
Yeah, I like the cute and blue.
I was say I'm the Mappy that don't play by no one's rules.
Well, I like the blue Mappy better.
Yeah, and that makes me feel crappy.
Well then,
So-
you better
so-
get a hold on. You better get a move on and a snappy.
Ah.
I wanted to rhyme.
I know. Hype.
Nat would literally be on a roll here if he was here right now.
So
I
would
know he
Pie.
would. And, oh, jeez, and Pie too.
So the main gimmick behind Mappy, because I don't think we've actually shown this game off prior, is that, well, your main goal is to collect all the items that are currently inside, well, the house that you're currently investigating, while also avoiding the Mewkeys was it either the Mewkeys or the Meowkeys? I forget the name of the actual cat gang, but basically they're them, and and there's also their boss named I shit you not, Namco.
Namco.
Ah!
Bye bye. But
I
yeah,
don't quite understand the system of this.
I know certain translations they actually call him Goro instead of Namco, but like they call him Namco because obviously it's a play on the company's name and well the sound that a cat makes.
Right.
Yep.
I dare say, Hype.
Huh?
I don't quite understand all this hubbub about Namco games. What were some of your favorite games in any arcade?
I remember playing Galaga a couple times. I know I played Miss Pac-Man a lot at the Pizza Hut that used to be in our home. I don't remember if there's like any other particularly standout Namco games.
Oh,
that I
no,
played
not
in
just
arcades
Namco,
before.
just-
Oh jeez.
Whoa! I'll say not just Namco, just in general. Like for instance, a game that I remember playing with a bunch of friends was I enjoyed playing the arcade version of Gauntlet.
Well, as far as like arcade games go, the one I definitely had a lot of experiences with was whenever we would go to the bowling alley
Nice.
near us, me and my friend Gage, we would play the
Thank
arcade
you. Oh,
version
whoa.
of House of the Dead 1, and we would always come so close to being it, but the Devil Damn Magician always kept killing us.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
So
so
I'm
James, what is this?
just gonna say real quick that after a certain point, like after the third world of the game, you suddenly encounter a giant robot version of Namco that's literally out for blood.
It's a
I
boss.
can see that. He looks
Now,
like
the
a
only-
slot machine.
Kind of does, doesn't he? But so basically, the only way to take out the robot is to use those use the flashing door lasers that you've pretty much been using throughout the course of the game and shoot them back at him. Now, what you want to also take into account is that they'll only refuel themselves if you actually close the door.
And also that the giant Namco bot has to be at the appropriate height for this to actually work.
On top of that, something I find kind of BS is that no matter if you're on a trampoline or not, any collision with the Namco bot will kill you.
I see.
That's a quarter muncher because he moves so quickly and so radically. There are very few safe spots from him.
And that's also taking into account the occasional Namco tokens you'll spew out.
Right.
This kitty don't play by the normal rules. In fact, I'm just wondering how the hell he got this machine in the first place.
But I will say though that definitely looking at all this, I definitely have not seen stuff like Mappy in arcades in a long time.
I don't think I've ever seen Mappy in arcades, period. I've primarily seen him through compilations and stuff.
Was it like it wasn't like Japan exclusive though, right?
Oh no, I don't think it was. I know Bally Midway did release the game in the States, much like they did the likes of Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
Like, they were pretty much Namco's big distributor for a little while, up until Namco got sick of them constantly feeding off of Pac-Man's success.
Gotcha. Oh jeez. So close.
Come on.
He gets so far, and he's already in the red.
One more hit should do it.
Wasn't he red to begin with, though?
He was
Well,
kind
he's
of
even redder
orange-ish.
than red.
Yeah, he's
I
like
guess he's-
peeved.
Oh, and
Got him.
off
And
screen, but
it's off screen.
there he goes. Oh, he fled.
He fled to rob another day.
Nuts.
Yep.
So let's celebrate by popping balloons again.
And now I figured out how to do it.
Yep.
Oh,
It's the balloon popping minigame is sort of a complicated process in that you do have to take into account like how high you can reach while try not to collide with the walls, otherwise that happens.
Yeah, that happens.
I know at the very tippy top of this this bonus area, if you're careful enough, you'll actually really reach a bigger balloon that has Namco's ugly mug on it, and if you pop that, you earn even more points than normal.
Huh.
But otherwise, that's pretty much the general idea behind Mappy. And with that, folks, that's it for our look at on Namco Classics Collection Volume 1. It's unfortunately a very obscure title, and I think only Galaga Arrangement got any sort of re-release in the form of the Namco Museum on GameCube, PS2, and Xbox.
Right.
Mappy and Xevious weren't quite as lucky, so unless you can find the actual arcade unit, your best bet is unfortunately emulating it.
Yep, thank you, Mame.
Yep. On that note, folks, we're actually not quite done with the classics yet, because they actually made a sequel about a year later, and yes, we did cover that too, so stay tuned.
Woo! Next collection. See ya.
Bye.
Ow.